What was terrible this week in the world of the Relatively Terrible Family?
Oh, Creed announced their Summer of '99 tour.
Oh my
and
God.
they have a date near us, and Mammoth is going to be opening for them, but they're charging $75 a ticket, so I'm not going.
What a
Creed.
tough life you must live, Jackson.
I know. The fact that Creed is still touring is a tragedy on all mankind.
Wow, that is a white person problem.
It is.
If it is
It is a
anything.
white person problem.
Okay.
No, it's not a white person. It's a people problem, because the fact that anyone listens to Creed.
A lot of people listen to Creed.
Exactly.
All
That's
right. What else? Anything else terrible?
Oh, Jackson made me listen to Anthrax and Rammstein on last night's Twitch stream. Though, oh God.
Wow, you guys are basically
I'm
living
sorry,
a tortured
Anthrax
life.
just sounds like Metallica. Sorry.
They don't sound like Metallica.
The music does. Yes, it does.
Rach, did you have anything actually terrible happen to you this week?
Actually terrible? No, not really.
Me either.
Yeah, none of us really had anything.
So I'm
terrible
just going to
happen
say
this week.
thank you, Lord, for a great week.
There we go. Okay.
Was there anything else terrible before we start?
We saw Hoppers.
Yeah.
Okay. We saw Hoppers, but we're not going to talk about that right now. I'm Josh,
I'm Rachel.
I'm Calvin.
I'm Jackson.
and this is Relatively Terrible.
I love you, but you're all terrible.
In the last episode, we talked about how we are going to look at some of our biases.
Biases.
Biases?
Bisons.
Some of our
Bisons. I like that.
Bisons.
Let's go with bisons.
some of our hot takes, and we're gonna see if we're right, if we're wrong. Maybe our mind can be changed if we look at some of these things. We talked about a lot of different things, but this week we're gonna focus on movies because we saw Hoppers, and we're gonna talk about a couple other movies. But the thing is, can you trust reviews anymore? Movies are an art form, and art is subjective. I really think that you have to go and see it for yourself. A lot of these review sites like Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, they can get review bombed. They can get people that just are hating on the movie to get you to not like it. And I think it's important with movies, especially, one, to go to the theaters. We need to still keep going to the movie theaters so they stay there. And two, we need to have our own opinion. We need to be able to critically think. We can't just see a good review and be like, this movie's awesome. We can't just see a bad review and say, this movie sucks. That's why we're going to start with Hoppers. Very highly rated, very highly anticipated. But as you know, if you're a frequent watcher or listener of this podcast, from the get-go, Calvin has been like, no Hoppers, not good.
Bad.
We were open to seeing Hoppers, though, because it got just that many good reviews.
Yeah.
Everyone was loving it, praising it, and so we had to see for ourselves.
We watched some bad reviews, too. It had some bad reviews.
But by and large, it was overwhelmingly positive on
Yes.
Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb.
So our goal was to challenge ourselves, go see it, and see what we thought for ourselves. Now we can talk about Hoppers. We're not going to spend an hour on Hoppers. I'll give my rating first. It's got a 1 out of 10 for me.
1 out of 10, yeah.
Yeah, 1 out of 10.
1 out of 10.
I think the only reason I'm not saying 0 is because I didn't fall asleep.
And it's not a sequel or a prequel or
Exactly.
a spin-off.
I completely agree with Calvin. That's the one point it gets.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
something original. And even then, is it original?
Yeah. But also, I think you could connect it to some other older movies. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah. All right, so Calvin, what is your biggest beef with Hoppers?
Oh, here we go.
It was not funny. Everyone, when they were reviewing it, was like, oh, it's the funniest movie of 2026 so far. And I'm just like, nope. Every joke was flat. I had no reaction. It was just awful. And the main character, what's her name? Mabel. I see where I don't understand because she's trying to save this pond, but the mayor's supposed to be the villain, but I don't really get that. He didn't kill the animals. He just relocated them, so he didn't really do anything that bad.
And in real life, that is not what would happen. They would do it anyway, kill the animals. Who cares? they're going to do what they're going to do. But the fact that this mayor actually relocated them
Yeah.
and put them in a new community,
I'm
a new
on his
ecosystem-
side. I'm on
exactly.
Mayor Jerry.
Yeah.
I'm
Mayor
on
Jerry.
Jerry's side.
I would vote for Jerry.
Well, and the fact, like, when she was trying to save the pond, she caused so much damage. She would be arrested.
Mabel was
She
not a
would be
child.
arrested.
She was
She was
19 years
19.
old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was 19. She would have been
19.
arrested.
That's
Not
true.
a very likable character at all.
Oh.
You couldn't get behind her now.
I had no
One
sympathy
funny
for her.
part, Calvin missed. He was in the bathroom.
But even then, how funny was it?
it was very funny.
For that movie, it was very funny.
For that
Yeah.
movie, and it was laugh out loud, and there was like 3 parts to the joke, and all the jokes landed, and it was very shocking, honestly, and it was good.
Yeah.
But not funny. Yeah, I agree with Calvin.
Yeah. All right. Jackson, your beef.
Pixar is known for having movies that will make you bawl, that will make you cry.
Toy Story 3.
I was dead inside. I'm with Mom. I was dead inside throughout the whole duration of this movie. I felt nothing. The whole storyline with the grandmother, just watch Up. The first 10 minutes of the movie, you will be crying. And Hoppers, the grandmother dies, and to be quite honest,
You don't really care.
You don't care.
They like stopped short. It needed like
Yes.
another
Yeah.
scene or two to really
Because
dig into her death, and
Because-
it's like they stopped it before it really happened, before you got emotionally invested in that relationship.
Because in Up, you saw everything that Carl and Ellie went through over the years. The fact that they couldn't have children, they were saving up to go to this place they always wanted to go. And then when they finally are able to go, she dies. And you're like, oh, that hurt.
or even like in Big
oh
Hero
no, the
6.
grandmother's not able to sit and look at the pond anymore. I feel so sad.
Boo-hoo.
Boo-hoo.
Like,
They didn't give much credence to their story.
No.
Like in Up, where it was a montage. Even a montage helps pull those emotional strings. They didn't do that in Hoppers, and they broke up the story. It wasn't like they showed the grandmother die when Mabel was younger, and you could see the emotion and everything. They didn't really tell you the grandma's dead until later. I mean, you just kind of assume it,
Yeah.
but it wasn't.
Well, they
It was
show
just poorly
her.
executed.
They show her urn, but
Right, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
that's pretty much it.
Right, or even like in Big Hero 6, when the brother dies, that
Yeah.
was, and that
Man.
was a very dramatic death. But again, you were invested in that, and the storytelling really made you feel something. You felt something for the main character. You identified with their loss, and you wanted good things for them. And I just didn't feel anything for Mabel at all.
No.
They just didn't fully flesh out that storyline to get you emotionally invested in that relationship.
Yeah, I agree. Didn't feel a thing. I'm a big crier in movies. Did not feel a thing ever. Did not feel even a titter in my eye. Never.
a titter. Hey, yo.
Not even a titter.
Not even.
Gen Z proving they still don't know words.
A titter in my eye? That sounds weird.
Cool.
It does. I'm sorry.
So my beef with Hoppers was actually the technology, the hopping. So they have the robot beaver, and they put it on the little platform, and Mabel wears the hat, and her mind then transfers into this robot. Okay, cool. But then as the movie progresses, there are other scientists who are doing the same thing, and they're trying to go after Mabel, yet they're getting booted somehow from the robots or the animals where their minds are going.
When their animal robot gets destroyed, they get booted from the system.
Yeah.
And the reason that was weird is because the head scientist had already said, we've got to keep her connected, or she can't be connected for much longer, or we're going to fry her brain or something. So why didn't they just disconnect her?
It just didn't make any sense. And it didn't make any sense. Like I said, I just remember the one part in particular with the dude and the bird, and like all of a sudden he got booted, and it was like, well, that doesn't really make sense.
Doesn't add up.
You think if you would
and-
get booted and you're not there put the robot on the platform thing, like something would happen bad with your mind.
Exactly, and they were very much invested in getting that robot beaver and putting it back on the platform to disconnect Mabel. Why they couldn't disconnect Mabel by just destroying that robot or doing something else just made zero sense to me. And yeah, they did allude to the fact they needed to get her out of there, but there was not really a firm timeline. You didn't have that element of this is dangerous. We're running up against a clock here. There's a countdown. Something really bad is going to happen.
Ooh, a countdown would have been good.
Yeah, like
A countdown
you can
on
only,
Mabel's helmet or something.
yeah, like you could only be in there for 3 hours or something.
It would have given the sense of urgency.
Yeah, that's what was missing. So it was just sort of like they were just kind of willy-nilly chasing her. So the tech, I didn't need it to be explained. I'm fine,
We get
suspending
it.
belief.
It's Avatar.
Yeah, I mean, I can suspend belief over a lot of things, but it was just it didn't make sense, and it took me out of the story because it was so inconsistent. So what was your biggest beef?
The messaging. It was all over the place.
Or lack thereof.
Yeah. Because it's kind of a reflection of our culture right now. You're right, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right. There's no absolute truth. So Mabel and Mayor Jerry are both right. The animals are right. Everybody's right. Everything ends in a neat little bow. To your point, where there should have been some danger, yeah, we don't want to hurt anyone in this movie, though. Everyone's okay. Your brain can't get fried. The animals in the backpack in the beginning, they're all fine. They didn't eat each other or anything like that.
So stupid.
There was a great white shark. They didn't hurt anyone.
Living in fresh water.
Which I would have never thought of in a million years. That's
Jason did.
That's some nerd shit on this side of the
If you
couch
want to
over
see
here.
me rage, just show me that scene from Hoppers.
Okay.
Great white sharks live in the ocean, not in lakes. What are we teaching kids? Oh yeah, next time we have our annual fishing trip, look out for a great white.
Okay. I'm glad you got that out of your system.
Thank you. Yes, I've been wanting to scream that.
But yeah, the messaging, it's scary because that's going to be more and more what happens in our world. Like everyone is right. That's already been happening for years. As long as it doesn't hurt anyone, it's okay. And it's like, well, that didn't work in this movie either because Mabel hurt a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
If this would have been anything true to life, there would have been a lot of people hurt. There was this huge forest fire.
She would have been arrested.
At least. And then she graduated college too.
But she was failing.
No way that would have happened. It was just the messaging was very horrible, and it was, what do they say if you'll fall for anything, you can't stand for something. What is it?
If you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for everything.
And that was the messaging of this movie. And I agree with all the points that have been made here. Not funny. And no one mentioned this yet. I'm going to mention it real quick, and then we're going to move on from Hoppers. The animation. Pixar.
Oh.
What are you doing? I would have expected, if this was a direct-to-DVD movie from some half-funded studio that no one's ever heard of, and I saw something like, wow, this is pretty decent for them. But this is Pixar!
I'm all for
Pixar.
experimentation in movies, but Pixar has a reputation, and when you see a Pixar movie, you know the style you're in for.
This wasn't experimentation. This was
Garbage.
Failure.
laziness. It was laziness because honestly, it was some of the detail that was not up to par with Pixar stuff. It was some of the characters looked really good, but then some of the backgrounds and some of the other elements, it's like they just gave up. Or
They ran out of money.
they're testing out some AI technology and they're like, good enough.
If it comes out that this whole movie was written by AI, I would say, okay, that makes sense.
sense.
Yeah.
One more thing.
Oh, God.
If a kid is watching it, it's made for kids. It's made for kids, but mostly all Pixar movies before this movie, it could be watched by kids and adults and they can both enjoy it. Maybe they just didn't care about that this time. They're like, 3 to 5 year olds, they're not going to know if this doesn't make sense.
I think that's dangerous, though,
6, 7.
especially because if it is geared towards children, and again, you have this very unclear message. So Mabel's behavior is nowhere redirected. there's never a moment where Mabel, I mean, she kind of realizes she made a mess of everything, but what should she have done instead? I hope parents kind of take this movie and leave the theater and like talk to their kids about what Mabel did and how her actions ultimately led to more destruction.
It just shows me that her grandma was a failure, even more than her mom. Like, your grandma didn't teach you anything other than nature.
Rebel.
Nature. Look at it.
And let me die.
And then I die, and then you don't know anything else because your mom doesn't even want you.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
And then just rebel against all authority,
Yeah.
and hope, and it should work out okay in the end, even
Okay.
if you burn the forest down. Okay.
We got to move on. We could do a whole episode about hoppers.
We
but
could.
Oh, boy.
Man, we really could.
Let's hop to the next one.
So, Hoppers was a movie that was very highly rated that we all hated. We thought then we would talk about a movie that has been poorly rated that we all love. Calvin, what is that movie?
Heavyweights.
We had to go all the way back to 1995.
Damn. Same year as Toy Story.
One of Judd Apatow's first movies. It had Ben Stiller. It had Jerry Stiller. It had Paul Feig. And then a lot of kids that you'll recognize from like the Mighty Ducks.
Kenan Thompson. Oh my gosh.
Kenan Thompson's
Man,
in
Dad
it,
was
SNL alum.
Dad was 13 when that movie came
I
out.
was 11.
Oh, that is weird to think.
But that
Wow.
movie has a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes.
on.
That is just tragic. And I don't know why that is. It honestly, it happens with a lot of comedy movies. Because people that are reviewing movies are like, oh, that wasn't a good film. And then they put like this low rating.
Well,
So-
let's be for real. If a movie critic is giving a comedy movie a good review, that comedy movie is going to be ass.
Yeah.
Good chance. I wonder, I literally just had this thought. I wonder how Dodgeball was rated. Because Ben Stiller's kind of playing a similar character in Heavyweights to what he plays in Dodgeball, where he really is just a complete and total jerk, and it's hilarious. And I wonder if maybe that's part of what people didn't like. The other thing I think people don't like, again, this was 1995. If you're looking at Heavyweights through 2026 eyes, oh, fat camp? Oh, we don't call anybody fat. How would you call these kids fat? And you're causing emotional damage and all this kind of stuff.
See, that's where, and I don't want to go on a complete rabbit hole here, but you should not make fun of people for their weight.
But
Making fun of people for their weight and then trying to help them to be a healthier person is two different things. And it is okay to want people to be healthy and live a long life. I'm sorry, no matter what you think, fat is not good for your body. There's some people that can't help it.
Yeah.
They have a thyroid issue, they have something
Whatever,
like
yeah.
that. There's some people that are now embracing this new 2026 mentality of, I can just do whatever the hell I want. Or I always hear, I want to die happy, so I'm just going to eat shit all day. It's like, no, that's not good. And I think this one, it's okay to poke fun at things and do comedy about them. It's not coming at it from a negative or a shaming standpoint. It's not trying to harm these people. And the kids in the movie are proving it. They're all about being big.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and even after, that one scene where they have this giant party and they go crazy on, Kenan Thompson says, don't put Twinkies on your pizza. They're all covered in whipped cream and all this crap. Shut up. And they had this giant blowout, and then they come to realization they've got to do better. They got to take care of themselves. And I love that part of the movie.
And the
I think
healthiest person is the biggest jerk.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think what it's pointing out is that stuff, like working out and eating healthy, it can't be forced upon these kids. They've got to come to the realization themselves. It has to be a lifestyle change. It has to be a thing that they're going to have good habits in, rather than putting them all in a camp and changing them in one day, and this jackass is trying to do it anyways. They're not going to listen to him
Well, and didn't
because
that-
he's a loser with a skinny wiener.
Well, and didn't a documentary about The Biggest Loser just come out that kind of exposed again, like these whole The Biggest Loser, these fat camp, like they didn't really work.
Do you guys know what The Biggest Loser is?
No.
There was a TV show, like a reality TV show where fat people would
Overweight
go on
people.
there. There was these two trainers who were world famous.
And they put them in separate houses, so some people were under this trainer, some people were under this one.
and they were getting him to lose weight, and whoever lost the most is the winner. And there's a documentary about one of the guys who lost a lot of weight. Is he skinny still?
No, he gained it
He's
all
bigger
back.
than he's ever been
Yeah.
because he was forced in that moment just to go for this prize and to be famous on TV. And it probably messed his brain up for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, but I think kind of the point of it was this isn't really the way to help people
This
live
isn't the way.
healthy, live a healthy lifestyle. So again, back to heavyweights.
This is
it was
the
just
way.
poking fun at the whole thing. Like this is not.
Well, they made fun of the one skinny guy
Yes.
who used to be fat, and that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have not seen Heavyweights, you need
It's
to.
a great movie.
It is. You need to stop
Hilarious.
what you're
Funny.
doing. Go watch it on Disney Plus or rent it on Amazon Prime or find it on Amazon on DVD
Yeah.
and
Ancient.
watch it because it is a great movie and it's Judd Apatow and
Very
it's
funny.
very
Man,
solid.
Dad was 13 when that came out.
Very funny.
You mentioned that. How old am I now, Cal?
44?
Yes, very good.
Wow.
I forgot.
That does not make me feel bad at all. It makes me feel
Okay.
good.
So, next up, we have a couple of movies that we feel were properly rated. The reviews, the ratings were, we agree with them, but did poorly in the box office.
Oh,
And
Thunderbolts.
we very quickly came up with two examples of that. One being Thunderbolts, and then the other one.
Good luck. Have fun. Don't die.
Great
You've
movie.
probably,
Great.
it's brand new. You probably never heard of
Great
it.
movie.
I did, I finally got that Letterbox app. I know I've told you guys this.
Yeah.
Shut up.
This is as bad as listening to Anthrax. What?
Okay, whatever. And I
Oh,
wrote
wait.
a review.
Anthrax? Letterbox.
Anthrax,
They have X in them.
Okay, anyway, go on, Jackson.
I did a review on Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. And the only reason it didn't get a 10 out of 10 is because it didn't really have a resolution. There's still an opportunity for a second movie. And what in the beginning of my review I said, out of all the movie trailers I've seen, how come I never saw one? Not one in the theaters for this one.
No, we stumbled upon that movie
YouTube.
and we saw the trailer for it and
No, I did not stumble upon it. I heard about it from the Corridor crew on YouTube.
okay.
Shout out to the Corridor crew on one of their visual effects artists react, and they were doing, you know, the one thing where the chords and things were wrapped around them.
Yes.
They were doing a breakdown on that, and that's
Okay.
how I found out about it and went and watched the trailer.
Okay, and then we all saw it and it was like
Yeah,
This
it was.
looks
I was not
exactly-
expecting that because you guys were like, "Yeah, it's a sci-fi movie." I'm like, "Okay, we'll see."
But you see,
and then it's like, "Whoa!"
It's like sci-fi, comedy, dystopia.
it's everything we
Yep.
love combined into
It's-
one movie.
it's a crazy movie.
It
got
is
some,
crazy.
It's got some horror elements. It's got a little bit of gore. It's got a lot of swearing. It's got crash jokes.
Everyone
it's got
loves
regular
a lot
jokes.
of swearing
It's got a
because
twist.
that's how we talk.
It's got a twist ending.
And
Yeah.
the casting was perfect because I hate it in these Hollywood productions where you get all these giant actors and then the movie sucks. What was that one Marvel movie that we hated?
Fantastic Four?
No.
Eternals.
Eternals.
Oh,
With everyone in it, but it sucked. This one had a good balance. The main lead being
Sam Rockwell.
I was about to say Sam Rockwell.
Sam
Rockwell.
You could see him in Monstick Man. How's that Indian? So, we got it.
I love Sam Rockwell, and he did great in this
Yes.
movie.
But he
Yes.
doesn't love him enough to know his name.
So yeah, so those were two, and then we talked before about Thunderbolts, how again not a standard Marvel movie, but a terrific cast, very much a very good underdog story.
And the message in that movie is much
That's a
better than the
message.
message in Hoppers.
I agree, and also it was the thing that I've liked that Marvel has did in Thunderbolts that they did in some of the TV shows was they did explore some of the consequences of both the behaviors of some of the characters and then also just some of the circumstances like the blip and how damaging that was to people. And so Thunderbolts, it had a great message.
And it's very relatable for today's society.
The isolation people feel
Absolutely,
and
yes.
how much you need community, and when you're hurting you need other people.
Yes.
So it was a good message, yeah, and it was a much more clear message, unlike Hoppers, which is so convoluted. It's like I don't even know whose team I'm supposed to be on in this movie.
Mayor Jerry.
And I'm with Jerry.
Thunderbolts, you've also got a great new good guy, bad guy. He's the same person.
Yeah, sort of that almost anti-hero. But
Yeah. What was his good guy name?
Sentry.
Sentry.
Oh,
And then it was what was the bad guy then?
the Void.
The Void, I think.
Yes, Sentry and the Void. Really cool Marvel characters. Supposed to be kind of comparable to a Superman.
if that's Marvel Superman, that was well done then.
Yeah.
The way they did the Void effects too were really cool.
Well, and then the actor who played Sentry, great actor.
I love
good.
Bob. Bob was hysterical.
Bob.
And you felt so sympathetic for him.
You did. You liked him, and all of the, again, pulled on the heartstrings.
Yep.
But then also, I really liked how when he was the Void, instead of there being the typical big Marvel fight scene, it was all psychological.
yeah.
Yes.
And that, in a lot of ways, is much more scary, and it's a little bit more relatable. You know, some of those big fight scenes in Marvel, it's like, okay, they're cool to watch and everything, but the psychological stuff felt even scarier.
Because when you saw him eventually starting to beat up, the Void, he was starting to become the Void again. Kind of, it was a cycle. So to stop the cycle,
Destroying himself.
is destroying himself exactly. So to stop the cycle, they all surrounded around him.
because
and-
he needed other people
Yes,
to help him break out of it. So again, a great message about like mental health and community and how you need other people around you. It was
Let's be honest, probably why it wasn't as popular.
again, it did veer off the beaten path for most Marvel movies. And again, I understand if you really
But I mean,
didn't
people
like
don't.
that, but still, how
People don't
could
want
you?
that messaging. People don't want that good messaging about community, and we need each other. It's
We're too much of an individualistic
yeah,
society.
and we're eventually all gonna end up on our own little islands, and it's gonna really suck. But this is trying to show us, like, no, together we can do more. It's just like when you think about making a movie, you can't do it alone. How many people make movies together? Do we not see the message that's coming from just that, and how much of a great thing we can get from that? And speaking of movie making, I was pretty happy with the CG. I'm always like looking at that in movies, except for they only had one scene.
there was
One,
in Thunderbolts,
like
yeah.
10 frames.
Swing.
10 frames
Swing.
of Florence Pugh's face that was CGI'd on. You
Not
didn't
great.
need it. You could have cut away, but you had to have it. And then we had to have that crap there. And I was just like, oh my gosh. It wasn't as bad as her in Black Widow, where the bomb blows up and she's,
Black Widow. I like that movie, but it did have
nope.
some, and it had some
Who's
unbelievable.
the villain in that? In Black Widow?
the whole Russian people.
Yeah.
Oh,
was that
Black
horrible?
Widow's good.
No, Black Widow was not
get
good.
outta here.
That was not good.
You don't understand. We're not talking about Black Widow,
Widow
but
was
you
not good.
guys do not get it then.
That was not good.
Maybe you need to watch it again.
Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, and Thunderbolts really share a lot of the same message about self-destruction and how we're our own wrongdoing. Thunderbolts being about, mentality, and Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die talking about our obsession with technology and screens. And both are so very true and so relatable in this day and age. That's why I love both of those movies.
Yeah.
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 There's probably a lot of, in this day and age, there's going to be a lot of cult classics that happen because of the way influencers are reviewing movies. They're just trying to get a job. They don't really like the movie. there's a lot of reviewers that I've stopped watching because every review is positive, and I'm like, wait a second, that can't be true. You can give a bad review and be constructive.
Yes.
That is not hating on the movie. That's why I said when we're talking about this today, we've got to have reasons for why we don't like him. Hopper's bad.
Yeah.
And just stop. That's not helpful.
And giving a bad review does not make you a hater. Now,
No.
if you're just saying, oh, I hate it. Why? Because I hate it. Okay, you're a hater. But if you actually give a specific amount of reasons for why you do not enjoy this, I can at least respect it. I'll hear your opinion.
And just because you don't like it,
There's usually an audience for everything.
I can still like it, and I can
Yes.
still
Yeah.
hear you. And guess what? We could still be friends too. Oh
my worldview.
I think the thing too is that there's lots of movies that we liked, but you can also have critiques of them as well.
Yes.
You know, just like in Thunderbolts, there is that one scene of the CGI that's not great. I mean, that's why the reviewers who love everything, who have no critical or constructive feedback at all, really, like, there was nothing you thought they could have improved.
That's ridiculous.
At all, like 10 out of 10, no notes at all, always. That just tells me you actually have no taste and you're actually not watching anything with, I mean, how do you not have anything to say that could be, I didn't like this, or I thought this could have been better? So
yeah.
again, you need to have your own opinions. I think that's
All. That's what we're trying
ultimately
to.
where we've landed on this whole, are these reviews helpful?
Yeah, and I think also we don't want to slip into becoming haters. Like, because there are people out there that will just to hate, and they don't have constructive criticism the other way, even like saying that something's bad. But I think that is, going to be interesting with all of these different cultural pet peeves, music, social media, all those things. But I think with movies, I think this was a good start.
Yeah.
All right, enough negativity.
Enough
What was
negativity.
What was good from this week?
What was good from this week? Oh.
Rewatching Toy Story 3. I think
Okay.
I've decided that is the best animated movie of all time.
All time.
All
Toy
time.
Story 3.
Yeah, just by a little bit though.
Okay,
Just by a little
explain
bit.
this to me. Explain why Toy Story 3 is just a little bit.
The whole movie. I mean, the whole Prison Break type of vibe, and then the ending is so sad.
Yes.
It should have ended there. And I actually watched a video of, behind the scenes, and they were talking about the movie like it was the last one.
Yeah.
And then I rewatched Toy Story 4, and I'm like,
Not
Nope.
Yeah.
nope.
3 was.
This was
4 was trash.
4 wasn't trash. It's entertaining, but
Unnecessary.
But 3 was so
unnecessary.
good.
But 3 is so
Yeah.
good.
It would have been.
And Lotso is such a great
Bad guy.
He's such a great bad guy.
Especially for a Pixar movie. You're
I
like,
mean,
oh,
he's
damn.
a teddy bear.
He's a teddy bear, and
smells
he's a
like
menace.
And he scares me.
And he's a menace.
I did not feel that in Hoppers. Oh, the bear! Oh,
the bear.
Oh, he saved animals. Okay.
Good for Jerry.
Good for Jerry.
I like Jerry.
Actually, Jerry didn't even touch the animals ever, and to move them, he just played a sound and they moved. That was like, if you want to dumb it down, that's what he did.
Again, in real life, that's not what would have happened.
We're still talking about hoppers.
Yeah. Well, come on. It was.
Maybe that's their plan to get everyone to talk about it, even if it's negative.
working.
I mean,
it's working.
Yeah, that in some ways that's been kind of the good thing this week, is we've had a lot of fun. I think just
Trashing on
tearing
stuff.
it apart, because there's just so much about it
Oh,
that we've hated.
I got my new Hail Mary shirt that I designed, and we're gonna go see it on Monday.
Oh my
And
God.
we were able to lease a new car.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
blue, and I was able to
Get the payment down.
get the payment down very significantly, so thank God for that. And it's really nice, and I'm really thankful for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Me too. I was not looking forward to that. And you
Nope.
handled it like a boss.
Thanks.
Like a boss.
Like a ball.
I need to see your boss.
And that,
boss. I need to see your boss.
and that, my friends, was relatively terrible.
And apparently my opinion or whatever happened to me this week doesn't mean shit. So let's end this podcast.
I thought you were talking about hoppers. All you do is talking about hoppers.
anything.
What was good for you
Yeah, what
then?
was good?
Why couldn't you just let it end? I thought you were starting to do the apparently kid. And apparently, it's relatively terrible. And apparently, Jackson, what was good this week? Go.
I forgot.
We'll end it there.